Ability Center's Functional Fitness.
Welcome to Functional Fitness. My name is Megan and I work here at the Ability Center as one of our fitness instructors and personal trainers here. For your class today, you will need a set of weights, or if you have an item at home like a laundry jug, some soup cans, or some water bottles for added resistance, you can use those as well. And make sure you have either a glass or a bottle filled with water to allow yourself to have some breaks and to grab some water. So we will get started. Another item that you will need is a chair if you would like to do some seated options. Just make sure it is a stable chair and that it's not going to roll around or tip over on you. So feel free to use that as an option, or you can stand or use it for some extra stability. So we will get started with our warm-up, just to warm up our whole body, and then we'll get into our strengthening portion, cardio, and some core as well. So make sure those feet are hip-width apart, up nice and tall, and we're gonna start with a nice gentle march, bringing our knees up towards our chest and lifting those hands as if we're walking right in the spot. And then you always have your seated option, up nice and tall. Let's get that heart rate going. Belly button is driven to our spine, up nice and tall. Inhale through our nose, exhale through our mouth. You can choose how fast you make those legs go. So if you want a slower pace, you can, or you can make it go a little bit faster. Totally up to you. And at any time, again, you can use your chair for some extra stability or have that seated option as well. Good. As those legs are going, I want you to roll those shoulders back. So we're gonna bring our shoulders up towards our ears and roll them back towards our back. Repeating, both arms coming back. Again, you always have your seated as well. Up nice and tall. Good. One more rotation back. And then same thing, going forwards, raising those shoulders up towards your ears and rolling them forward. And again, they're standing as well. Inhale through that nose, exhale through that mouth. Belly button driven to your spine. Good, one more rotation towards the front and then march those arms again. Good, our next one, we're gonna go into a toe tap forward. So we're gonna tap our toes forward as if we're tapping a line, and then I want us to push our hands at our chest in 2, 1, and go. So push our hands just in front of our chest, and then we're gonna tap our toes forward as if we're pushing open a door. Make sure we're up nice and tall, whether you're in seated or standing. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good job. Keep those arms at shoulder height or below. Good. Few more. Last one. Good. Hands are gonna go at our side. We're gonna heel dig forward and bicep curl our thumbs up towards our shoulders, kicking those heels forward, up nice and tall. Good. Alternating those legs, both arms coming up towards our shoulders. Again, you always have your standing as well. Good work. 2. Last one. Good. Bring it back to the middle and march it out. Up nice and tall. Again, you always have your standing as well. Good work. 2. 1, we're gonna pause those legs gently. We're going to high knee our legs. So we're gonna do the same movement as we did for our march, but bring those knees up towards your chest and then push those hands down. Alternating sides. Again, you can use your chair for some extra stability, or you can always go into your seated. Make sure we're up nice and tall. Squeeze those knees up towards your chest. Warm those hips up. Good. Inhale and exhale. Just want to warm those bodies up, get those joints moving. Good job. One more on each side, and then we're going to go into butt kicks. So if you're seated, pull those feet back, tapping the side of your chair, pulling your arms and back and pulling those shoulder blades together. Or if you're standing, you want to bring your heels towards your bum. Up nice and tall, pulling those arms back. Good, belly button driven to your spine. Alternating those legs, good work. Good job. Up nice and tall. Body should be starting to get a little bit warmer. Breathing is getting a little bit heavier. You want to feel that heart rate increasing. Good. 4, 3, 2, bring it back to the middle and march it out. Standing or seated, up nice and tall. Good job. So for our next one, we're gonna bring our toes out in front. We're gonna lift them up as if we're a toy soldier, so we can gently pause those legs. Hands are gonna come together, and we're gonna lift our toes up towards the center, raising them up towards our chest, and we wanna tap those hands down towards our shins or our toes, wherever feels the most comfortable, or you can reach for your knees. And again, you always have your seated option as well, alternating sides, hands coming up and tapping down. Good, we wanna really tighten that tummy up too and squeeze that core. Good. Up nice and tall. Inhale and exhale. Good work. 2, 1, we're gonna go back to our high knees, and I want us to rotate opposite elbow, opposite knee. Bring the knee up towards that chest, and I want you to rotate in the center. Bring the opposite elbow to opposite knee. Again, you have that standing option as well. Alternating sides. Warming that core up, hips and your shoulders. Good job. Almost there. 4, 3, 2, bring it back to a march in the middle. Up nice and tall, core is nice and tight. Inhale and exhale. Good job. Good work. And then I want you to gently pause those feet, keep them hip width apart, toes pointing forward. Take those arms, I want you to create nice big circles around. Going in a forward motion. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good job. Keeping that core nice and strong. Good. 2 more rotations around. Excellent. Same move. We're going to go towards the back. So rotate those arms in a big circle towards the back. Good job. All right, give me 2 more rotations. Good work. I want you to inhale those hands up above your head, and then exhale those hands down. Good, one more time. Inhale, and then exhale. Good. Shake off all those arms and those legs and that core. So we're gonna get started into our next section. So we're gonna be doing cardio, 2 exercises. Strengthening, we're doing 2 exercises, and then our core as well. We are doing 2 exercises, 45 seconds each. Grab a drink, take a little breather, and then we will grab those weights and get started. Fantastic. So we're going to be going into our cardio portion first. Well, our first one is 4 punches. So we're going to tuck our thumbs right into our hands, keep our hands at chest height. We're going to punch our hands forward 4 times, and then I want you to reach down towards the floor. Seated option as well, up nice and tall, punching our arms forward 4, and then I want you to reach down to the floor, 45 seconds. Here we go, go. So I want you to do 4, reach down to the ground. Good. And you can alternate those hands as they go down to reach for the floor. Make sure that core is nice and tight. Good. And again, you always have your standing option as well. Up nice and tall, punch forward 4, and aim to reach down. Good. Awesome work. And at any time you can go half distance, you can choose how low you want to go. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we want to do an active recovery, so we want to either side tap or march in seated. Our next one is going to be a squat position into a front kick. Feet are gonna go hip width apart, up nice and tall. We're gonna push our bum back as if we're about to sit down. Come up, and I want you to kick your leg forward. Go back into your squat and kick forward. And your seated option, I want you to reach down towards your toes, up, and then I want you to kick a leg forward. And go. Alternating those kicks, lifting your leg up, pushing that foot forward, up nice and tall, belly button driven to your spine. And again, standing. And remember, if you have that chair there, you can use it for some extra stability if you are in that standing position. So just simply tap onto it for some extra support. Good, 10 seconds to go. Choose how deep you go in that squat. Good work. After this, we're gonna grab our weights in 2 and 1. Good, grab onto those weights or your household item. Your next one is gonna be a lateral leg lift. So weights are gonna go at your side. We're gonna shift our weight over to one side, lift our leg out to the side and back into the center. Sticking with that same side. Seated, weights are gonna go on top of your knees, up nice and tall, tapping our foot out to the side of our chair and coming back in. And go. So when we're tapping in that seated position, I want you to tap with your heel. Stay up nice and tall, belly button driven to your spine. Same side, we are not alternating. And again, you have your standing as well. You're in that standing position, the weight is at your side, hooking into that hip. Good. So we want that leg to lift up that weight. We don't want our hand to lift up the weight. Good work. Up nice and tall, 5 seconds. 2 and 1. Excellent job. Place those weights right in front of your hips, up nice and tall. We're gonna row our hands up towards our chest, lifting our elbows up as well, and then we're gonna place them back down. We want our palms to face our body the whole time. Up nice and tall. Variation for this one, definitely go one arm at a time, or you can stick with 2 arms at a time. And go. So make sure we're up nice and tall for this one. Head is pointing forward, rowing those weights up towards our chest. So if you want to go just a little bit below the chest, so be about mid-chest or where your ribs are, that's awesome as well. Just we don't want to go any higher than our chest height. And again, standing, lifting those elbows up towards the ceiling as well. Good work. Making sure we're breathing. Feet are hip width apart, toes pointing forward. Good, almost there. 2, 1, and rest. Excellent. Place those weights or your household item down on the ground. Make sure there's some space. We're gonna be going into our 2 core exercises. Hands are gonna come together just like we did in our warm-up. We're gonna lift our leg up and tap towards our toe. Bring your hands just above our chest, alternating sides. And then seated option as well. Squeezing that core nice and tight. And go. So when we reach for that leg, I want you to squeeze that tummy down, creating that C shape with your back, but then I want you to straighten up as we get to the top. So straighten your leg, tap onto that shin, tap onto your knee. Good, wherever your range of motion is. And again, up nice and tall. Squeezing that tummy nice and tight. Good work. When we are done this exercise, you will grab onto one weight or one of your household items. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Grab onto that one weight or one household item. Left hand goes on the bottom, right hand goes on the top, or however you need to hold on to that item. Feet are going to be hip width apart, toes pointing forward, up nice and tall. We're going to go down with our hands. The weight should be on the outside of your left knee. We're going to bring it up on a diagonal, and that weight's going to come up above that right shoulder, and then back down and back up and go. So same thing if we're seated, down to the left side, on outside of your knee, raise those hands up towards the right side of your shoulder. You want to keep those arms nice and straight with a slight bend in them. Good, and we're going to rotate that core up nice and tall no matter where you are. Good work. Good job, almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest, good. We're gonna place that weight or household item down, grab a quick drink, take a little moment, take a little rest if you need it. We're gonna then go back up to the top. So we're gonna start at the top with our 4 punches and our touchdown. Then we'll go back into our squat, into the kicks. We'll go back into our leg lifts, but we're gonna do opposite side this time. Then our front rows, then our toe touches, and then we're gonna go opposite side for our wood chop. Feet are gonna go hip width, toes pointing forward, up nice and tall, roll those shoulders back, tuck your thumbs into your fists, and punch forward 4, go. And then touchdown. Good work. Keep that core nice and tight. Inhale and exhale. It's very important to focus on that breathing as well. We don't want it to get out of control. Good, and always remember there's always an option for seated, reaching down and those punches. Good. Keep that belly button driven to your spine. Inhale through that nose, exhale through your mouth. Up nice and tall. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. So even if you're in that seated, I want you to keep that body going. Whether we're marching, standing, you can do side taps. We're gonna be going into our squat front kick, alternating those kicks with those legs. All right, place those feet hip width apart, toes pointing forward, up nice and tall, and squat down. Go. Seated, you're gonna reach down, and then kick your heel forward, touch down, kick that heel forward, and again, you always have your standing squat, and then kick the leg forward. Good work. So again, you can choose how deep you go into your squat, or how far you reach down towards the ground in that seated option. Listen to your body. Good work. Keep that belly button driven to your spine. Inhale and exhale. We got 10 seconds to go. Chair is always there for some extra stability. 2, 1, and rest. Good. Grab onto those weights or your household item. We're gonna go into our leg lift out to the side, opposite side. So use that chair for some extra stability, or you can come into that seated option, weights on top of your knees, up nice and tall, tap your heel out to the side, and coming back in. And go. Good work. So when we're tapping out to the side or raising out to the side, make sure you're really squeezing your bum nice and tight to maximize the exercise, maximize that range of motion. And no matter where you are, make sure we're staying up nice and tall. We're not leaning to one side. Good. Good, and again, we have that standing option as well. Hands at your side and lift up. Good work. Squeezing your bum nice and tight. 3, 2, and 1. Good work. All right, up nice and tall. Weights are gonna come in front of your hips. Roll those shoulders back. We're rowing our hands up towards our chest, lifting our elbows as well. And at any time, your variation for this one, you can do one arm at a time rather than both. So make sure we're up tall, weights on our hips, and go. So raise those hands up, and don't forget about your elbows as well. We wanna raise those elbows up, and keep your palms facing your body the whole time. Good. Focus on that breathing, so I want you to exhale as you lift those weights up, and inhale on the way back down. Good. Awesome work. And we always have our standing as well. We got 10 seconds to go. Good job. 2, 1, and rest. Good. Place those weights down. or your household item. We're gonna go into our toe touches forward. We wanna take those hands, place them on top of each other, alternating sides, reaching for either our toes, shin, or knee, wherever your range of motion is for today. 3, 2, 1, and go. Alternating sides. Remember, we wanna create that C shape with our body and squeeze that core nice and tight. Again, seated as well. Good job. Really focus on that breathing again. So we want to exhale as we squeeze the hands and the shins together. And you can choose how high those hands go as well, whether you want to keep it just a chest height or raise them up above your head. 10 seconds. Good. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, grab onto one weight or one of your household items. We are going into our wood chop, opposite side. So right hand goes on the bottom of the weight, left hand on the top, feet are hip width apart, toes pointing forward. We're going now to the right side, outside of that right knee, and then coming up above that left shoulder on that diagonal line. Up nice and tall, and go. Same in that seated position. Place the weight on the outside of your right knee, up, across that diagonal, up to the left shoulder. Keeping those arms nice and straight. Good job. Good. Up nice and tall. Good job. Circuit 1's almost done. We got 10 seconds to go. Good work. 2, 1, and rest. Good. Place that weight down, grab a drink, take a little breather, and then we will return for the second circuit. Same structure. We got new exercises for you. Fantastic. All right, so we're now in circuit number 2. Same structure. We have our 2 exercises for cardio, 2 for strength, and 2 for core. Our first exercise, we're going to be going into quick feet. So our feet are going to go hip width apart, toes are pointing forward, and we're just going to move our feet as fast as we can, or as fast as you feel comfortable. There will be a surprise, but don't worry, I'll coach you through it. Or you have your seated option as well. We're going to move those feet as fast as you can, whatever's most comfortable for you, okay? And get started. So make sure those feet are hip width apart, toes are pointing forward. We want to keep those knees bent, and we're hinging a little bit through those hips. Good work. And our surprise is a touchdown. So anytime you hear touchdown, I want you to reach down to the floor, reset, and go back into those quick feet. Touchdown, and then reset. Good. Core is nice and tight, and again, you have that seated option as well. Touchdown. Just moving those feet as fast as you feel comfortable. Touchdown. Good. 2, 1, and rest. Good. I want you either side tapping or gentle marching. We're going to be going into a toe tap. So we're going to tap our toes forward as if we have a line right in front of us. We're going to tap our toes alternating sides, up nice and tall, either standing or seated. 2, 1, and go. So for this one, again, you can choose how fast you go. So whether you want to pick up that little pace, or you can go a little bit slower, that's completely up to you. And again, you have your standing as well. Alternating those feet. Good, so for that higher intensity, you'll just move those feet a little bit faster. For lower intensity, slow those feet down a little bit. Good, alternating those feet, tapping those toes forward. You can alternate between those speeds if you want to. Good work. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Grab onto those household items or your weights. We're gonna place those weights in front of our hips. We're gonna be going into a half deadlift, which means our weights are gonna come down towards half of our quads, so our thighs here. We're not gonna touch our knees. We're gonna come up and we're gonna squeeze our bum as tight as we can. Seated option, reach down a little bit past those knees, come up nice and tall, and then I want you to squeeze your bum as tight as you can. Go when you feel ready. So again, that seated, you're just going past those knees, and then I want you to squeeze your bum nice and tight, up nice and tall. And again, you're standing, going about mid-thigh, up nice and tall, and squeeze your bum. So if you're in that standing, I don't want you going past those knees. Run those weights along your legs, squeeze your bum at the top, hinging through those hips, 10 seconds. Belly button driven to your spine, up nice and tall. 2, 1, and rest, good. Feet are gonna be hip width apart. We're gonna be hinging through those hips, so those weights are gonna come in front of your knees. We are gonna curl our hands up, so our thumbs are coming towards our shoulders. We're then gonna pull our elbows back towards our back, and we're gonna kick our hands back into a motion of straightening our arms out. Same in our seated position, hinging through those hips, curl our thumbs towards our shoulders, rub those elbows along our ribs, pull the elbows back, and kick those hands back. Good, and alternating between those two. Good, make sure you go when you're ready. Variation for this one arm at a time. So again, curl those thumbs towards your shoulders, pull the elbows back, kick those arms back until the arms are straight, squeeze in the backs of your arms. Make sure no matter where you are, whether you're seated or standing, those feet are hip width apart. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good, place one weight down or your one household item down. We're gonna hold on to the end of your weight or your household item up nice and tall. We're gonna go into a knee drive. So the weight is gonna go just past our face. We're gonna come into the center and we're gonna squeeze our knee up towards that weight, single side, okay? So the knee's coming up nice and high. Same in our seated. We're gonna squeeze that weight towards our knee and straighten back up. Go when you're ready. Same side, we are not alternating. So that weight is just going past our face, and then we're gonna squeeze the weight and our knee together. Good, making sure we're breathing through it. Good, really focus on exhale as they come together. Good job. Good, we got 10 seconds. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Grab onto that other weight or your other household item. We're gonna place those weights onto our shoulders, and then we're gonna press those weights up just past our head in a half shoulder press. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dip our right elbow over to the side and lift our right knee, trying to reach them together. If you would like to just dip to the side, that's a variation as well. And then you're seated as well, hands are coming up, dipping down, trying to aim to bring the elbow towards the knee. And go. So we're just doing single side this time. If you need to rest that left arm, you can. And then I want you to try to bring it back up. Good job. Good, aiming to bring elbow to the knee. Good job. Squeezing that core nice and tight. 3, 2, 1, and rest those hands down. Good, grab a quick drink. Place those weights or household item down. Then we're gonna go back up to the top into our quick feet surprise. So now you know what the surprise is, so it's no longer a surprise, but it'll be a surprise when I tell you to go into that touchdown. Then we're gonna go into those toe taps, half deadlifts, bicep curl with that tricep, knee drive, and our standing bicycle again. So make sure those feet are hip width apart, toes pointing forward, seated or standing. Move those feet as fast as you can. Go. So a reminder, the faster you go, the higher the intensity will be. And for that lower intensity option, you can slow those legs down and go into more of a march. And again, you always have that seated option as well. Touch down, so reach down to the floor and back up. Touch down, Good. Make sure after that touchdown, we reset back into those quick feet. Touchdown. Touchdown. 2, 1, and rest. Good. Make sure we're active in that recovery. Toe taps are next, so we're gonna imagine that line is in front of us, tapping our toes, alternating our feet, standing or seated. And again, if you have that chair near you, you can use it for some extra stability. 2, 1, and go. Tapping those foot forward, alternating sides, up nice and tall. Again, you have your seated as well. Add a little bit of arms if you want to. Good, making sure we're up nice and tall. Good work. "15 seconds left. Almost there. Good job. Whew. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good work. Grab onto those weights or your household item. We're gonna go into that half deadlift. Weights are gonna come in front of those hips. We're gonna pull those shoulders back. Knees are gonna be slightly bent. If you are standing, halfway down our thighs, and then I want you to squeeze your bum as tight as you can. And if you wanna do our seated variation, weights are going just past those knees and up nice and tall and squeeze your bum. Good, go. Good. So no matter where you are, whether you're standing or seated, make sure those hands are rubbing along those legs. That just makes sure those weights are nice and close to your body, and it forces you to hinge through those hips and not rounding through your back. Don't forget to squeeze your bum nice and tight. Back is nice and straight. Good, and we're breathing. Very important to focus on that breathing, making sure that belly button is driven to your spine. Look at that, we're almost there. 2, 1, and rest. Excellent, we're gonna go into our bent bicep curl and our tricep kickback. So hinge through those hips, either standing or seated. We're gonna curl those thumbs towards our shoulders, pull our elbows back, and kick our arms towards the back, straightening our arms out. Feet are hip width apart, toes pointing forward, and go. Curl up, pull our elbows back, kick our hands back into that straight position, straight those arms down. And again, for your variation for this one, you can go one arm at a time if you would like to. Alternating those sides. Good job. Making sure that we're sinking into our heels if we're in that standing position. Good job. 10 seconds. Sticking our bums back, even in that seated position, hinging through those hips. 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Place one of those weights down or your household item. Hold on to the ends. We're gonna go into our knee drive. So again, that weight comes just past the face. Opposite leg this time, bringing the weight towards our knee and then releasing, creating that C shape with our body and making sure we get up nice and tall at the end. And go. We want to exhale as we bring the weight towards our knee, and then inhale as we go back up. And again, we always have our standing as well. Good job. Belly button driven to your spine. Good job. Single side. Bringing up that knee as high as you feel comfortable. 10 seconds. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Grab onto that other weight or your other household item. Weights are gonna come up to our shoulders, and we're gonna press those hands halfway up. We're gonna stay to the same side, bringing our knee up towards our elbow, and same in our seated. Weights come up halfway, up nice and tall, and go. So you wanna lift that knee and tilt to the side, aiming to bring that knee towards our elbow. And again, up nice and tall in that standing. Good. Try to keep those weights mid-shoulder press. And again, at any time, if you need a little bit of a breather, just reset and you can go right back into it. Good job. Making sure you breathe. We've got 10 seconds left. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Place those weights down or your household item. Take a moment to take a little breather, grab a drink, and then we're gonna go right into our cool down for a full body stretch. Great job today. So let's do a full body stretch to stretch out our muscles, cool our body down, and bring that heart rate down. So I want those feet to be hip width apart, whether you're standing or in that seated. And I want you to inhale your hands above your head, in through your nose, and then exhale, hands coming down out through your mouth. Inhale up, and exhale down. Good, one more, hands up above our head. And exhale those hands down at your side. Good, I want you to slow shoulder roll towards the back. So lift those shoulders up towards your ears and rotate in a backwards rotation. Up nice and tall whether you're standing or seated. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Good. Awesome. One more rotation around, and then I want you to forward rotate. So rotate those shoulders forward, bringing them up towards the ears. Good. Good. Let's do one more big rotation around. Awesome. Hands are gonna go to your side. I want you to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Same in our seated. Hands are gonna go at your side, and you're gonna drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Make sure we're sitting or standing up nice and tall. Our belly button is still driven to our spine, even though we're stretching. Inhale through the nose, exhale through your mouth. Good, gently release, bringing your head back into the center. And then I want you to drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Hands are still at your side. Up nice and tall. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Feeling this nice stretch going through your neck. Good, gently bring it back into the center. And then I want you to drop your chin down to your chest. Still staying up nice and tall. Feeling the stretch going through the back of your neck now. Hands are still at your side. And again, there's always the option to stand up. Good, and then gently release your chin away from your chest. Right arm is gonna come across our body. We're gonna take our left arm, scoop it underneath, and pull onto that right elbow, pulling your arm across the body, feeling the stretch going through your shoulder. Making sure the shoulder doesn't come up towards our ear. We wanna keep our shoulder down away from our ear. Good, and then I want you to release that right arm out to our side at shoulder height. And we're gonna rotate our thumb down towards the ground. Feeling our stretch going right through our bicep. Keeping our arm at shoulder height. Rotate that thumb back up and then release back down. Left arm comes across our body. Right arm scooping underneath and pulling the elbow across. Up nice and tall. Good job. Inhale through that nose, exhale through that mouth. Good, gently release. Left arm comes out to our side at shoulder height. And I want you to rotate your thumb down towards the floor. Again, feeling the stretch going right through our bicep. Good, and then rotate that thumb back up towards the ceiling and release. I want you to interlace those fingers, and I want you to round our shoulders forward, separating those shoulder blades, and I want you to tuck your chin into your chest as if you're hugging the biggest tree possible. We want to separate those shoulder blades, drop our chin to our chest. You can raise those shoulders up towards your ears. Continuing to inhale and exhale. Good, I want you to keep the hands forward. I want you to raise your chin up and then drop your shoulders down, but I want you to still pull your hands in a forward motion. Good. Core is still nice and tight. Good work, and I want you to release those hands, coming behind our back, interlace those fingers, and we're gonna hug that tree behind us. Same in our seated, and if you want to in that seated position, feel free to grab onto the back of your chair, and then I want you to open that chest up, lifting the chin away from your chest. Continuing to inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Good, and then I want you to gently release. All right, we're gonna take our right heel and we're gonna kick it out in front of us, either in that seated position or standing. Our left knee is gonna be bent. We're gonna place our hands on our left knee, hinging through those hips, toes go up towards the ceiling, and we wanna feel the stretch going through the back of our right leg from our knee all the way up towards our bum. And again, that seated variation as well, kicking that heel forward and hinging forward. But allowing those muscles to loosen up. Awesome. And I want you to release. If you're in the seated position, I want you to place a foot underneath your chair, or if you're in the standing position, take that right foot behind you, heel is on the floor, and then I want you to push your hips in a forward motion, feeling this go from your hips all the way down towards your knee. And again, if you have a wall or a chair for some extra stability, utilize those so we're not wobbling over, because we want to focus on that body stretching out. Up nice and tall. Good, and then gently release. All right, so we want to kick that left heel forward. Right knee is now bent. Hands are going to go onto that bent knee. Same in that seated position. Back is nice and straight. Toes are up towards the ceiling. Good, and then I want you to gently release, either placing your foot behind underneath your chair, or if you're standing, your foot goes behind you, heel on the floor, and then I want you to push your hips forward, feeling the stretch going through your hip all the way down to your knee. And again, that's seated as well. Place your foot underneath, and then I want you to push those hips forward. Up nice and tall. Good job. Good, and then gently release. I want you to take your hands and I want you to place them out at chest height, and I want you to rotate your wrists as if you have a pencil in your hand and you're creating a circle on a piece of paper in an outward motion. If you feel more comfortable, you can place those hands together and create the same circular motion. Good, we're gonna pause and go the opposite direction. Awesome, I want you to pause those hands. Take your right hand, palm facing away from you. I want you to take your left hand, placing it on your fingers, and I want you to gently pull those fingers back. We don't want to pull too hard. Just enough till we feel the stretch going through our forearm. Good, and then release. I want you to place that hand down. Now we're gonna grab onto the back of our hand, not our fingers. So our fingers should be nice and free. And now we should feel this in the top of our forearm. Good, and then release. Left hand, palm facing away from you. Take the right hand, pulling those fingers gently back. Good job, and then gently release down, grabbing onto the back of the hand. Good, and then gently release. Awesome work. Take 2 big breaths. So inhale those hands up. Exhale those hands down. One more. Inhale up. And exhale those hands down. Awesome job today. Thank you so much for joining me today for Functional Fitness. I hope you had a great workout, and I will see you next session. Thank you.
Ability Center's Functional Fitness.